The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Go!
Yeah.
Go! Dallas Cowboys! It's the go team of the senior pros. Let the whole world hear our bugles blow. Stand up! Stampede! Go you Dallas Cowboys!
You gotta hold it. There you go. You held it. See how
We're
you
going
hold
to
it?
ride that Cowboys stampede all the way to SoFi Stadium in February. Tony Romo jumped on the bandwagon at the end of yesterday's game in New England. This is Mick Shots.
Oh, there we go.
This is the SWBC podcast studio, home of your five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys.
And 5-1 Dallas Cowboys.
Daggone
Winners
right,
of
boy.
5 in a row going into the
Yeah.
bye week.
Yeah.
Looking ahead to Minnesota and Denver and Atlanta.
Everybody's
and then
nervous. Everybody's
Take
nervous.
care of those Kansas City Chiefs, and then Thanksgiving turkey against the Raiders. It's going pretty well right now.
You're getting a little ahead of yourself.
I got my tickets.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, all ready to go. We ready? Got your tickets all ready to
That's
go,
right.
Bill?
That's right. I'll just say this. I got 3 words for you. What a game.
Yes, sir.
Sunday.
Absolutely. I sat there and it finished, and I was going, okay, the Cowboys overcame themselves. They overcame the Patriots. They overcame Bill Belichick, and they overcame the officiating.
Wow.
That's how good they
That's
are.
how good they are. We wouldn't allow ourselves to beat ourselves. I like that, Spags.
I mean, they were trying to beat themselves, right? Time after time after time. 12 penalties, 115 yards. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, can't make it. 4th and 1, 2 turnovers in the end zone.
Get a pick six and then give up a 75-yarder.
Goodness gracious. And they still won. They needed overtime, right? And
Miss a field goal, make a field goal.
I mean, think about it. It was one after another, and
man.
in overtime they finally score their 30 points, right?
Got it again.
And for symmetry's sake, the last time they won in New England was overtime, Herschel Walker. So why not go overtime again?
34 years ago, Herschel Walker on a 60-yard touchdown run in overtime.
To the house.
I'll continue to say it. With this offense, you can erase a lot of mistakes because they put up 567 yards, 567,
The most.
445 passing, both the most that Belichick has ever given up as a head coach.
You took my notes there.
Oh, sorry.
Buried my lead. You buried my lead there.
Sorry,
bro. It's
sorry.
okay. No, but it's good
I got
stuff.
carried away.
No, keep it going. Keep it
You
going.
know, and going into the game, we were wondering, well, this is Belichick, and we got a young offensive coordinator. What's he going to do? He just offensive because he didn't run it down their throat. They threw it down their throats. Unbelievable.
Ran it enough, though. Had enough success
Just
in
enough.
the run.
Just
Just
enough.
enough because he was trying to take away the run.
And they knew that coming in, though. They
Right.
knew that that's what Belichick does. And so they had a game plan for it. Yeah, 500 and how many yards again?
67.
567 yards worth of game plan for it.
That's unreal. And they were up and down the field, but they kept shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, you get enough holding calls, you're going to make up for that lost yardage there with
goodness.
total yards.
Yeah, a couple of those, I don't know. That's why we got the hat.
There you go.
We
You got
got
the
the hat here,
The
right?
hat out. He's the white hat.
So I tell you who needs to bring a hat. Connor Williams needs to bring a hat. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm visualizing this, so they're getting all these holding calls. We're not accustomed to it.
Right.
So Belichick's going to get his. You always think that the referees are kind of always kowtowing to Belichick. You remember when the guy was offsides? He lined up offsides in the Super Bowl, right? No one ever makes that call. But they called it, I think, against the Rams.
Right.
Yeah, in a close game, and that was crucial. Just silly things like that seems to happen with Belichick. So when I looked at this game, you had so many penalties that I think Connor Williams got frustrated, and I could just imagine him saying something.
He
to
must
the
have
referee.
cussed the guy out.
He must have cussed him out because he got three.
Unsportsmanlike
He got three. Right? In one quarter? Am I right? He got 3 holding calls in 1 quarter.
So
you could imagine
unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yeah, well, no,
Well,
that's what resulted.
That was the result.
That was the result of it. Yeah.
Right. But that was another.
Now
penalty.
that holding call was a holding call. That particular call was, I think something must have happened before that. To where because Connor actually reached back and grabbed the guy. You could on the replay, and there was a holding call.
Was that the one he had 2 guys and he was trying to take both of them on?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. And I think something must have happened before that because Connor's probably like, hey, SOB, what's going on here? And Connor Williams gets an unsportsmanlike. That's hilarious to me.
Mild-mannered
That's
cop-out
hilarious
cowboy
to me.
Connor
Well,
Williams.
I thought
hilarious to me.
Tyron Smith was going to get one. God, he's dominating the guy, and they call holding. It's like, give me a break. I give you the hands to the face, although it was to the neck, by the way.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the same.
He almost took his neck off, right? Hey, don't be so short, right? I'm tall.
That's a good one coming from Spain.
No kidding.
And then you can get into the darn 3rd and goal. He's half his body's in the end zone. What do they look at?
Okay.
Because they couldn't see that one either way.
All right, so we're going to get into that now?
Yeah, because I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see
Well, you
it.
saw my tweet I sent you.
I did.
Okay,
I saw that.
And at CBS 11, Bill Jones on Twitter.
Yes.
I went ahead. I'm watching it from home. That's one of the beautiful.
How'd you get the overhead shot?
Because I saw it when it happened. They had very quickly, and I know a lot of fans saw it too, because I got a lot of responses on Twitter. They were jumping out of off their couches like I did when I saw the overhead shot, which shows Dak clearly in the end zone, across the goal line. And, unless they thought that the ball was between his ankles, which is where they marked
familiar.
it. Which is where they marked it on the
Didn't we
field.
do this
Yeah,
before?
we did.
But there's an umpire that is looking right down at Dak. I mean, when you unstack the pile at the goal, okay, I understand. The officials, technically, they have to be able to see the football cross the goal line. And on a quarterback sneak like that, there's too many bodies in there.
They couldn't see anything.
You cannot see.
No.
So the only way you can determine whether he got across the goal line or not is you unstack the pile, which is what they did. And there's no way that Dak has the ability, once there are 12 300-pound men on top of him, to be able to crawl forward. Wherever he is,
That's where he was.
He was.
Right.
And the other thing, and Jim Nantz brought it up on the broadcast, just as an aside, well, maybe his knee touch before, but you go back and look at it. His knee did not hit the ground as he started his surge forward. So his knee didn't hit the ground until he reached this forward progress, which was clearly across the goal line when you look at the overhead shot. I mean, I don't know how much more video evidence you need. And the fact of the matter is, they clearly, I mean, they took in the review, they just took a passing glance at it. They did not. They needed to stop it and take a look at it and get that whole overhead shot. That should be standard operating procedure on any plunge up the middle at the goal line.
We've had too much of this going on.
We've got the technology.
We've got too much of
We've
this
got
going
the
on.
eye in the sky right above the goal line. So you've got the perfect view of it from up there. You have to stop it and take a look at it. And the problem is
the worst part is they can't see from where they're at on the goal line, right? And so they waited till they unstacked everything, And then they saw where he was, and it was like, okay, we're going to mark it 6 inches from the goal line. How did you see that?
Right.
How did you see
How
that?
did you come to that conclusion?
And if you look at that, the screenshot that I tweeted out, which has about 6,000 retweets now, it's the perfect shot overhead, and he is not only at the goal line, his torso is beyond the goal line.
Boy, this sounds so familiar. Oh my goodness!
I mean, it's unbelievable that you don't review that, and for the officials on the field, when you unstack the pile and you see that.
Why did you wait?
Yeah,
They
because
didn't
you're
call-
waiting.
They
Nobody
didn't call
could see it.
anything
They
until
didn't-
they unstacked
That's
it.
right.
And then they unstacked
And so the
it.
only evidence they have on the field is after they unstack and they see Dak across the goal line. Here's the other part of it is I was sitting there going, why aren't the Cowboys arguing it more? Well, you can't argue. When you don't get the call
Nope.
because of the timing rules in the NFL, you
Yep.
don't have time to argue the call.
Nope.
You have to go on to the next play and get ready to run the next quarterback sneak, which, of course, ended in disaster.
They tried. Everybody tried to beat them, and they couldn't do it. That's how good they are.
Oh, man. It was aggravating.
Well, it's just,
But-
it doesn't make sense.
Right. But we wouldn't have had the great game we had if
No,
they,
that's true.
Right. Yeah, let's just be thankful for that, guys.
That's right.
That is some stuff.
You know, I put this game in, as far as regular season games in Cowboys history, I put this one in the top 5.
Oh, it was.
I mean, the number one all time was Rodgers' comeback in his last regular season
Right.
game in 1979 to Tony Hill to come back from 2 touchdowns down basically in the last couple of minutes. As far as regular season games go,
That's saying a lot for regular season games.
yeah,
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I know.
But that's saying
I know
a
it,
lot for
but-
regular because we've had some
yeah.
crazy regular season games.
But this one might have taken the cake,
Mm-hmm.
especially because where it was. And not only did they feed all the stuff I said, they defeated the haunting history of losing to not only Belichick, but the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Not having beaten them since 96, not having won there since 87.
Yeah, the storylines that go with it,
Just on and on.
and even in the first half, the first quarter of the game. I mean, Romo made the comment, "This is crazy how much stuff is happening, and it's like nothing's getting determined here."
Only
you know?
with Belichick. I'm telling you, man, things get real quirky and kooky when he comes around, especially if you're going to be in Boston. You know the referees are always kind of intimidated by him, I think. And they always feel like they have to make sure that he's happy. You're like, before I pull a flag, is it okay, Coach? All right, we good?
Kind of like Jordan rules.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And then it just went warp speed once Trevon got the interception, and then they come
Oh,
back
my
with
goodness.
the 75-yarder, and I mean, it was just crazy.
All right, so
you see-
figuring that, my opinion, I don't know what their calls are. I saw one safety high, man to man. That's what we saw, right?
Yes. And pressure.
And pressure. Casey had come from the other side, disguising. They had the umbrella look is what we call it. He came from the other side. The safety came down on Trayvon's side to cover his man. Casey came from the other side to go to middle of the field. Most safeties, they're not going to be able to catch the numbers. They're not going to be able to make the numbers from the middle of the field unless it's really, really deep pass. To me, I see a mistake on the approach by the safety, but that's Diggs' man.
Yeah.
That's his man.
He bid on the
He
double
bid on
move.
the double move.
Right.
And I get that genius move by Belichick. You know.
Let's go right back at him.
Well,
He's
yeah,
probably
plus he's
full of
flying
himself.
high. There you go. He's flying high, man.
You saw on the sideline right before that, Belichick went over and said something to Mac Jones on the sideline, and at the time I thought, oh, well, he's just keeping him, his head right.
You think
in the
that
game,
we'll put a bug in his ear, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now in hindsight, after seeing the first play, it was probably had to do with that. We'll get him right here.
We'll get him right here.
Well, but KZ could have rubbed out the mistake.
That's it.
And
That's
he,
it.
I don't know if he overran it or it just he got there too soon. I'm not sure.
I think he thought he had the pick. I mean, if you look at him, he's got his hands.
He needed
He
to
looked
just make
like
the
he was
tackle.
surprised that the guy made the reception. It's as if he didn't think the receiver was going to make the catch. It's like, oh, the receiver's not going to make it. No one's going to make it. I'm just going to casually come over. And, boy, that was a huge mistake. But also, even Trevon, I mean, come on. You just got, what, seven?
Seven.
You just got seven.
Halfway
running.
to Night Train Lanes, 14.
You're going down, Walls.
That's great, Blake. That's great, Blake. That's great. Didn't they mention my name yesterday?
I don't think they did.
I believe they did, yes.
Did
sir.
they?
Yes. I believe the words were the great Everson Walls. I think that's the word.
I mean, I was
believe they
thinking
said the great Everson
The great
Walls.
Everson Walls.
Yeah.
The future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's what I
Everson
believe that's
Walls.
what they said, yeah. But no, I still think Diggs should not have stopped running as well. You just don't leave that up to your safety. You actually had a chance if you would have kept up and kept the speed up, because the guy's fast as heck.
Right.
He could have actually gone up and made a play on the ball. But it seems like I'm gonna leave it up. No, you don't leave it up to I never left anything up to Michael Downs. We're gonna fight together.
As much as you love Michael Downs.
I love Mike, but man.
Along those lines, it's a different mindset when you're ahead, right?
Yes. You want to,
as opposed to the previous play where you're behind and you need to make a play.
Let's look at the New Orleans game against Minnesota, right? Remember that?
Yep.
The safety just didn't know how to approach it. Okay, we're ahead. I don't want the PI. Mm-hmm. So so in my mind, I'm already confused as I approach it. And from there, he didn't do anything. You just left in limbo.
And especially when you're in a position where you're up by more than a field goal. They got to score a touchdown to beat you at this point.
Oh, man. Boy, that was such a I remember when Diggs took it to the house, I was the only one in the room. So I was running out there. Yeah! My son just came home. We're celebrating, and we're high-fiving like, wait, what just happened? Oh, damn. Okay. Wow.
That reminds
and my wife goes, no! I could hear in the back.
See, that's why that reaction right there is why this game ranks right behind the Staubach Cowboys-Washington game in 1979, because I was in college at that time, and I jumped off my couch. I went running out of my frat house celebrating Roger to Tony Hill to win that game.
Over Lamar Paris.
I sprained my ankle out in the yard.
Oh, my goodness.
And you know what? And I must admit, I got up off my seat, and it was like, no. And I was in the room upstairs by myself. Yeah. I was like, no effing way. No one else heard it but me, right? That was unbelievable.
That's when I really thought my name was going to come up there. That's like Everson Walls. Oh, my God. What is he doing?
I mean, when you start getting tip passes, right?
Oh, man.
It's like you're living right until the next play.
It's just glue on his hands. I mean, it was like anything that touches his hands,
and
he's catching it.
He stepped over the receiver and took off to the house. I mean, that was some nice running. The guy, what does he run? A 4 what?
I don't know.
It's better than a 4.5.
It was 4 enough.
Well,
I loved it.
All right, I'll look up his 40 time in the break, and we'll come back, and there is so much more to talk. You like this early, right out of the chute?
Not bad. We get the first word.
That's right.
I'm going home to cut my yard. Yeah.
On a Victory Monday here at the Star in Frisco, we continue in a moment.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, yo quiero guacamole.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Dallas Cowboys United discount days are right around the corner. Join the official fan club of the Dallas Cowboys presented by Globe Life, or upgrade your membership between October 21st through the 24th to get up to 30% off Pro Shop purchases. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United.
All right, and we don't have an official 40 time on Trevon because he did not run at the Combine, which was it was last year. The Combine was before COVID hit, and he did not run and didn't have a pro day. So there, we don't know what he runs officially.
He runs fast enough.
As long as he wants, as fast as he wants to run. Seems like
same right. Like Dion, right? What he said.
That's it.
All right, where do you want to go next?
Better maybe mention. The strained calf muscle for Dak Prescott,
good point.
Who evidently walked into the post-game interview in shorts because he had a big old walking boot on his right foot.
It was a Jordan walking boot, though.
A Jordan walking boot, yeah. It was customized.
Wow. Even in
sounds like he strained his calf on that touchdown pass, the final throw of the game. Mm-hmm. Came down. He said he came down a little funny or he came down awkwardly, and he felt a little funny, and so they checked it out.
Limped off the field, hopped to the locker room.
Did he hop to celebrate?
No, he just stood there and let everyone shower their praises on him.
Well, he said he wasn't. He didn't really feel it until the adrenaline wore off. A couple of I don't know if it was 45 seconds later, a minute later, or what it was. That's when at first he didn't feel it, and
until everybody started jumping on top of it.
And so maybe he
trying
actually
to hold up all those people probably aggravated.
Yeah, so maybe that's what he heard it. But what he sounded like in the post game, which you can hear here on DallasCowboys.com. He sounded in good spirits about it. Just wanted to give us some drama here during the bye week.
So MRI at some point today. So maybe later this afternoon, because Mike's press conference I don't think is till 4:30 today, if I remember correctly. And then
that's correct.
And the coordinators are after that. So maybe by then we'll have an update on that. But I thought because I went back and looked at it time and time again, the touchdown pass to CD, 35 yards to win it, just how it sort of unfolded, and it was the way they lined up, and again it was the Patriots playing basically the defense they wanted to play all game. They wanted to put extra guys on the line of scrimmage to put pressure on Dak and try to man up on all the receivers.
When are they going to stop doing that? Somebody's got to learn.
When someone gives up.
Somebody
when they give up 567
yards. That they have enough defensive backs to cover all the weapons the Cowboys have.
By design, you can cover them. But when it comes to reality, they don't. And that's the thing. You have to realize that not only do we have good receivers, we have a number of good receivers. And our good receivers far outweigh your good defensive backs.
And especially for the Patriots yesterday, they in the first half, some of them came back in the game, but
Jones got hurt.
They had some injury issues to the point that on the interception by Kyle Duggar in the first half, Justin Bethel made the play in the end zone, knocking the ball away, and Duggar got it on a deflection. Well, I looked up, and Bethel has been, he's a special teamer. He's only had 11 snaps on defense the entire season coming into yesterday's game.
That's probably why Dak went at him.
And probably so. That's right.
So what they did was they came out with two tight ends to the right. They had both receivers, CD and Mark Cooper to the left. And so he play fakes basically to Zeke, which held the one safety for a minute. And then he bootlegs, does a reverse pivot to his right, which was going to buy him time, right? And evidently the idea was, okay, we're going to throw this little thing to Schultz, right? Well, Cooper goes out to the left, and 27, I think it was Adrian Phillips, goes with him.
Or J.C. Jackson.
Or Jackson. And then, and it was Jackson. And then CD comes underneath him, and Jalen Mills is playing off, right? So he gives Lamb a free release to go. And so one of the safeties goes with Jarwin. One of them goes with Schultz. The other one was going to blitz, and then he said, I better go out with Dak, and that left nobody with Lamb coming across, right? And he ran 9 yards, and at the 9-yard mark, he's doing this.
Yeah. He's down.
I'm open. You better throw it to me.
Mills never gained any ground.
No, it's
almost like he said once CD put his hand up, Mills was almost confirming, yes.
And CD,
this is a touchdown.
And CD said,
I'm not going to even hustle after you.
CD said, I was shocked that I was that open, and then he goes, I was expecting another safety. And there was nobody there. And he didn't catch him until he gets to the end zone, pushes him down needlessly. And
no, he needed to do that.
Yeah, right. He had to,
he really needed to do that.
Save
I don't blame him at all for that one. Yeah.
I loved it.
And CD gets up. CD gets up and waves. See ya.
Like this,
of course, the story behind that, Jalen Mills is from DeSoto.
Okay.
And so, he's a Dallas kid, and I don't know if he's here in the offseason or not. But, I mean, my wife was saying, CD shouldn't have taunted him. Like, no, it's fine. He's just holding the ball out. I mean, we just won the game. And then I told her that the defensive back, he's a former Eagle. And
then it was
he's from DeSoto.
Stop right there. Yeah, he's a former Eagle.
Well, and she even said, so they know each other. Yeah, they know each other. It's just a competitive
But
thing.
it was a great play call at that spot for what they were anticipating that the Patriots were going to do defensively.
Now, here's the thing. To me, and I don't know if are they this slick, are they this intuitive, I'd say for it seemed like 5-6 straight plays, maybe more, Zeke wasn't in the game.
They had Pollard in.
And my son was like, where's Zeke? Is he hurt? What's going on?
Well, they even cut to him on the sideline.
Yeah, okay, I did not see that part.
He was going like this on his helmet. Like,
For those not watching, Mickey just hit his headset with both hands.
Yeah, what is that?
It was almost like, why am I not in the game or something? That's what I took
And
from
so
it.
here's the thing. So, just as soon as my son says that, Zeke comes in the game, right? So here the Cowboys have him on the ropes. This is an important moment. And the Patriots are thinking they're going to run the ball to Zeke. They just put him in just for this purpose. Now, do you think that Kellen Moore knew that the timing of putting Zeke in the game after not having him in the game for about 5, 6, 7 plays in a row to where Patriots are going to say, they're bringing Zeke in because now they're going to just try and
kick a field goal, right? Let's just get some yards.
Yes, we're just going to get yards. Here, all we need is yards.
Yep.
I thought that was, to me, that was the gravy on top of that steak right there.
That's why Kellen Moore calls Zeke Deke. He's a decoy.
Perfect. I mean, I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it just totally fed into the Patriots being so gullible at that point. I mean, they bit hard. And once again, looking for another safety? No, he's not there because they bit so hard on the philosophy itself.
Just another example of how Kellen Moore just coached the pants off the greatest coach of all time.
Man,
I don't want to spoil the image, but I wrote down the first play from the 20, he ran for 2 yards, and I said, got up, slowly got off. So he did something to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Pollard came in, and Pollard was in there until that play.
Till that play.
Yeah.
He came in that play. I promise you, the Patriots were thinking heavy run. Everyone, that front seven's thinking heavy run. That's why that was the perfect call. And it was perfect timing because Romo kept calling for it.
The time
2,
before,
3, 4
right?
times. No, more than, maybe a couple of times.
But they called timeout when he first
and he said
pointed
they were
that
going to
out,
do
right.
it. They were going to do it then. Yeah.
And I can't remember if New England called timeout or the Cowboys called. I forgot.
New England called timeout.
Yeah, and it stopped.
New England called timeout.
And then they
was
came
that on
back.
the same series or the previous series?
I think it was the previous series.
So it was in regulation.
Yeah.
Before the tying field goal?
I believe it was that. It was that.
It was before the tying field goal.
Okay.
Yeah. See, where was it? Timeout.
Cowboys call. Well, I've got a timeout.
Is that Cowboys?
No,
I don't think we called that.
There was a timeout called at 2:01, and then 2-minute warning at 1:54.
Or maybe it was the possession before that.
I don't remember.
I just remember when he said it, and then they didn't get to it. But they came back after the timeout, and they were lined up the same way, but they didn't run. I think they ended up handing the ball off.
Yes, they did. To Pollard.
I believe is what happened. So.
And that was even better for setting up for Zeke because now thinking we're going to do better now because we're
we've
coming in
seen
with
this,
Zeke.
yeah.
That's right. So amazing. Dude, 128-3. The Patriots are successful when leading with like 2 minutes to go in the game.
Oh, I didn't see that stat.
128-3.
And it's something similar to that. I don't have it in front of me when they lead at halftime.
I didn't see that.
And one of the losses, it may just be a couple of losses or maybe 3 now. One of them was the Brady game 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
2 in the last.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So maybe their last 2 home games.
That last 2 home games. Now they're 0-4. And I just have a question. I mean, we got to talk about which was the best pass that Dak threw?
Which was the best catch of the game?
I say both are the same.
Cedric.
They're both the same. Exactly. I think the pass alone. That cornerback was going for the pick six. You know that.
Yeah.
And Dak knew he was going for the pick six.
The fact it's a 4th down play.
4th and 4. Come on.
I mean that we're not talking about any of this stuff if they don't execute that pass.
Man.
I mean,
Bro.
you talk about coming through under pressure. And the game is on the line on this play right here, and pass and
I'm totally
catch.
not sitting down during this whole part of the game. I'm not even sitting down.
And
with that 4th and 4,
I was writing down Dak high to Wilson,
but
and
he had
got
to.
up and, because the guy was coming underneath, right?
I mean, come on, man. You talk about being in sync.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of clutch moves that you just almost come to expect that from Dak.
And that's your 4th receiver.
That's your 4th receiver.
And
but that's his favorite receiver.
And Noah Brown came up with a couple of catches,
my goodness.
right?
Man.
So your 4th, I think I figured out the 4th and 5th receivers had 6 catches.
Which once again leads to everything that we're talking about. That just lays out, the whole.
Because McCarthy
scenario.
talked about we needed all our perimeter players because we knew how they were going to play the game. And he knew they were going to say, okay, whatever we're going to do, Zeke's not running for 100 yards on us, right? But they still managed 122.
And so now you're talking just very pedestrian, 3rd and 26, 31 seconds to go. Just very pedestrian. Let's just hit CD over the middle for,
To the point that, and as Romo pointed out on the broadcast, but at the end of that game, everybody was so gassed. He was talking about the receivers, but if you look at the Patriots' defensive line trying to put pressure on Dak, they were barely getting off the ball. But to the point on the receivers that Malik Turner goes into the game in the most critical stage of the game.
And they tried throwing to him, too.
That's right. So let's get the guy in here who can actually run 50 yards downfield. Let's throw it deep to him.
Well, I'm sure they were just dog-ass tired.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
When they hit that 3rd and 20-something to CD, everyone, it looked as if they were confident and cocky, but I just think, like you said, they were just exhausted. Mm-hmm. No one had any energy to just kind of be all geeked up, like, we're going to kick this field goal.
The Cowboys called that timeout?
Yes, they had to.
Which one you talking about?
The third and 20 plus.
Before the
field goal. They had to. Yeah, they called it.
Because I was figuring they were so tired they probably couldn't get everybody off the field.
No, they called the timeout.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So it ended up 4th and 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 4th and 1.
Which was amazing that they almost came up with the first down.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if he gets it, he's got 24
and that's
seconds.
after the 4th and 4.
Right.
That's after the 4th and 4. So we're just like, oh, that was pretty underwhelming. But that was amazing also. I mean, and we're looking at these passes that he's throwing and the catches that they're making. And it's almost routine now. The greatness now is almost routine for this offense.
So I would say they're equally the Cedric one and the 3rd and 25, 24 yards to CD. You got to say both of them are just as important because the game ends
with
way.
either one.
Yeah. I mean, you get another chance.
But the 4th and 4 was just
I mean, it's such
So CD finishes with 9 catches.
That's because it was 4th. It was 4th down.
Yeah. So it trumps it because it was 4th down.
Yeah.
Now if
CD finishes with 9 catches for 149 yards.
Who had him
both career
Who
highs,
had him pick the click?
by the way.
Did you have him?
No, you know who the pick the click was.
You got him?
I had
Connor Williams?
Kellen Moore.
Oh, you did. My man.
And I will take it.
You got it. You
cheated and used a coach instead of a player.
Spags is about 3 in a row on us, man. Spags is about 3 in a row on the pick.
That was Lamb's second multi-touchdown game. He had 2. And Zeke, while he only rushed for 69 yards, he had 7 catches for 50.
Wow.
So that gives him over 100 yards from scrimmage. Schultz, 5 catches. Cooper, 5 catches. Wilson, 4, 3 for Pollard, and 2 for Noah Brown, and 1 for 1 yard for Blake Jarwin.
Touchdown.
A touchdown.
Yes, a touchdown.
That was a big yard.
I'll take
Cowboys
it.
were having a hard enough time getting that 1 yard, and so that was rather huge. All right, we continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Back to Mick Shots.
Be the first to receive new offers, event info, and more when you sign up to receive text messages from the team. Text Cowboys to NFLDAL. That's 635-325 to receive 10% off your next Pro Shop order. Message frequency may vary. Message data rates may apply.
Okay, there's so much to talk about with this game, and you'll be able to hear all the talk throughout the day here on all the podcasts, and we're just kicking it off. But how about we, in this last segment, talk about special teams and talk about a block punt?
A blocked punt.
2 years ago, as you
For the
all
Dallas
know,
Cowboys?
it was a block punt by Matthew Slater. That was the deciding play. And going into this game, in fact, Mike McCarthy told me we got to talk block punts. It was a priority. When we were taping the coaches show last week, we got to talk special teams, and there's going to be a big day for Bones Fossil. And sure enough, they got their block punt. Now, they didn't turn it into points because of what we already talked about down on the goal line, but that's a perfectly executed block punt by Luke Gifford.
It couldn't be any better when you take it off the guy's foot, right? You didn't even have to, go chase the ball down. It landed right underneath him when he fell. So good to Gifford, and it looked like, I don't know if they overloaded, but no one touched him. He came through clean. So that was, it could have been huge, but they didn't score after it. But yeah, the Cowboys special teams, other than the missed field goal that we just talked about, and there was kind of a reason for that, they averaged almost 25 yards kickoff return. And if I remember, they didn't do much on, no one punted, right? I think there were 3 punts in the game. Cowboys had one, and they had 2, I think.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is
just
once again another reason
field.
that this game was just so unique.
But, the block punt last time they were there ended up setting up basically the winning touchdown, the only touchdown in the game back in the rainstorm in 2019. So, yeah, the Cowboys, a little more symmetry there. And then the other guy that I think we need to talk about, Randy Gregory's a beast.
I love it. I love it.
He had the 2 sacks. That's his second 2-sack game in 3 games. He ends up with 3 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 2 quarterback hits, obviously the sack fumble that Golston recovered. And I bet when they look for pressures, he probably got about 5.
He always has a bunch of pressures.
And
it's like he's just a rabid dog coming through that line.
He forced 1 holding call, which was a big call, right? I think, was that on the touchdown pass that they had to come back? The guy got called for holding. And then he spoke out after the game. And he basically said, I don't know, but these officials didn't do a very good job.
No.
And I'm paraphrasing. And I agree.
You're paraphrasing?
They could have called somebody holding him several times. And the thing we were talking about last week with Dan Quinn putting the helmet on, and they were practicing getting cut.
Yes.
And he was the guy, he was playing the Patriots and going down low. I saw that offensive tackle dive right at his feet down on one play, and he kind of pushed him down and jumped over.
That's
him.
Good coaching.
But they knew that was coming, that they were going to do cut blocking on him, and sure enough, there it was. I saw that happen to him. And the thing that Quinn did then, when they started chipping him on the outside, he started standing him up in the middle of the defensive line along with Parsons, and they widened out the other defensive linemen.
Yeah.
So it was almost like they had a 6-man front, but those guys were standing up, and they were looping and trying to cut through so they couldn't chip him, because they were starting to chip him on the outside with the running back.
When you start thinking about guys like what Dak went through and what Randy Gregory went through, those journeys can be amazing. They can make you or break you. And you think about what Gregory went through, it wasn't about any injuries. All he had to do was fight himself. And that's the toughest enemy you can have. So for him to come through that the way he did and to be as solid as he is now as a human being, that's just as important as what he's doing on the football field, because right now he seems to be as stable as possible. And, man, I could imagine sometimes he's sitting up at night wondering what his future was going to be, and now look where he is now. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and boy, and he's without DeMarcus Lawrence in there, he's almost a lifesaver on defense that continues to cause me to go, I don't know. They just, they ended up giving up 120 yards rushing. to a team that's not very offensive, and and they gave up so many big plays once again.
They allow them to keep the chains moving.
Right.
It's so frustrating.
All right, and we'll talk about now. Everson, you're going to be on the next couple of days.
I'm on at 1:30.
At
He's
1:30,
the Players Lounge. I
okay, and we're on at 12:30.
I believe that's right.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right. I think we got Rob.
That is right.
And
Heckma. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll talk about it more in the next couple of days. But one of the things when you're talking about run defense, so Romo talked about a little bit how Dan Quinn has changed his philosophy, his defensive philosophy from his Seattle days or Atlanta days. There's a lot of what the Belichick does with the Patriots that had morphed into Dan Quinn's defense, and we talked about a little bit the use of those DBs. I looked at the snap counts this morning. The Cowboys had per snap or in the game they ran 54 snaps on offense, and they were 5.98. There were 311 snaps for defensive backs in the game. If you divide that by 54 snaps per play, 5.98 DBs on the field.
6 DBs.
So basically, the Cowboys a lot of times, on average, had nearly 6 defensive backs on the field.
And see, the difference between this year and last year, these are huge DBs.
And that's not even taking into account Keanu Neal, who's basically a DB playing linebacker.
And that's what I like. Well, these are huge DBs.
Several times, though, in the run game, he got exposed. When they were lining Parsons up like the strong side linebacker on the line of scrimmage, and then it was Van Der Esch and Neal in the middle, and they were running right at him. So that's something that they may have to look at.
But even you look at the Patriots tight ends, and those are receiving type tight ends with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. And so to be able to combat what they're doing offensively and what so many teams in the league are doing, you have so many DBs on the field, and you're going to expose yourself in the run game.
And they were running the ball. I mean, they averaged 6.7 yards a play.
And to start the game, Parsons was playing defensive end or playing outside linebacker.
He was outside line on the line.
Exactly, right.
When they went with 2 tight ends.
Right. That was.
But at least, unlike last year, they weren't in nickel. They were actually playing 3 linebackers on the field at that time.
All right. That does it for us. There's much more still to come, and we will chat at you tomorrow on Mick Shots at 12:30.
And we'll be all back together probably next Monday, right?
Or something like that.
Because it's a bye week.
It's a bye week. That's right.
Maybe that's what CD was doing.
Bye-bye.
Go Cowboys.
All right. Yeah, go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!